Hey guys, Bobby back in today. Another pickup video. I've got cocoa in the basket. I've got a great craft beer, which is an interesting collab once again between a brewery in Ottawa, Ontario, and a brewery that we know very well here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Great to see these interprovincial barriers down and the ability for these beers, these fantastic craft beers, to be shared back and forth between provinces now. And I also have a very interesting pickup for you today. It's a little bit of a story behind this pickup, because actually all the things that I'm about to share with you, I picked up way back just about a month prior to PRGE 2023 when I went out to Portland. And at that time, there had been a major cache of Intellivision and other video game products found. I had been called in to help with some advice on the cache, and I got a few things from it at that time. But to make a long story short, there was a lot of very I will say very sad things that went on after the fact, as we were sort of waiting for it to get to the next steps, and it never really came to fruition. And that's about all I'm going to say about it. But at the very start of it all, I had the opportunity to pick up a bunch of things from my collection, which is exactly what I did. And I can't wait to share them with you here today. So without any further ado, we'll be right back with the goods that I got from that collection way back in 2023.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
Alright, so let's start it off, Coco, with the craft beer. Alright, what we have here today is a craft beer. It is a, what is it? It just says strong beer. It's an IPA. A collab between Dominion City Brewing in Ottawa, Ontario, and one we all know and love, Trailways, in right here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And it is called Glorious and Free IPA. So that's a fantastic idea. Very short, small batch, I think this one, because it's just a regular can with a label on it. Let's pop it open and take a look here. All right, I got my Hockey Canada glass here that I'm going to drink. This is actually a Molson Canadian glass, which is not a craft beer by any stretch of the imagination. Not my favorite beer in the world, but I do like the glasses, I'll tell you that. 100% Canadian made, but then again, all the beers that I have here on the channel are 100% Canadian made, that's for sure. That's great. It's got a little bit of a haze to it. Pretty good little head. Again, did I say it already? 6.5%. So this was pretty strong too. The last one I had was 7.5. A big bottle of the Evangeline. And this one's 6.5. So the beers up here sort of are quite strong typically. But that's okay. We like it that way. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. That's pretty good. A little bitter. A little sweetness in it there too. Overall, definitely worth trying out. So if you get the opportunity, a Trans-Canada Brewery collaboration. Glorious and Free. If you get the opportunity to try it out, I highly recommend it. You won't be able to have too many. It's pretty strong. If you're used to drinking that regular old Bud Light or Coors or something like that, this will sort of hit you a little hard, but man, it is really flavorful, great stuff. Cheers. Alright, so we're going to start this right out with kind of a heavy hitter right off the get-go. Now, this is totally untested, and all this time I haven't even tested this. But the first thing I'm going to share with you that I picked up back in the day, I've never had one of these. But what I have is right here. It is an Intellivision System 3. It's got a sticker on it and stuff. I'm going to get this all cleaned up too. Intellivision System 3, which is one of the last ones that they released, right? one thing to notice on here, look at the keypads. It's got the darker keypad. That's awesome. I can just clean that. I should take it all apart and clean it all up, to tell you the truth. I might just do that, and I'll test it all out with our diagnostic software, the freewheeling diagnostics, as well as the MTE201 from Intellivision Collector. I always like these as well because this one has an LED light. I don't know if this was going to work, like I said, but it's got the LED light on the board. I really like that addition. So you know when it's on, because I know mine that sits right here, I look at it right now, know it's off. It gets bumped and it gets turned on and there's no light to indicate it, so I wouldn't even know it. The one that I keep on my desk, my modded Intellivision. But I've always wanted one of these INTV System 3s, the System 3 Intellivision. I'd never had the opportunity to have one. I saw it up there that day, and I said, yeah, I'd love to have that one too. I don't care if it works, really. I think it probably will, or at least we'll be able to get it working, or I'll send it to Luke, and Luke will be able to get it working for me. And yeah, just really, really happy to add that to my collection. Just a couple different ones left to go. I think I got like 10 or 12 Intellivisions now. But nothing wrong with having that one right there. Actually, I'm going to set it right down on the floor. Next up, I've got some card-onlys for my Atari 2600 collection, which I work on all the time, right? I mean, I've been working on these for years, and I really go with Atari 2600. I go for the subsets. Okay, I worked on Activision. Gonna have some of those in here too. I've done things like now I'm doing the 20th Century Fox because I did all the videos on that. There'll be a ranking video on all 24. That's 17 released and 7 prototype 20th Century Fox games for the Atari 2600. I'm going to be doing the ranking videos on all of those very soon, so look for that. It may be out by the time you see this video. And another one that I picked, another subset, is the Zellers set, which if you don't know what the Zellers set is, Zellers was a department store here in Canada who had basically they're knockoffs from Taiwan or whatever, and they've released their own versions of the Atari 2600 games. So first one I have here, and I can't for the life of me remember what game it is, but this is Earth Attack. So I'll put some gameplay footage in right here. I do know what one it is. I can't think of it right off the top of my head. Now, Earth Attack is actually, it's a knockoff of Atari 2600 Defender. So that's exactly what the game is. I'm trying to get all 19 of the different Zellers releases. So that was really awesome to have. I always loved Defender when I was a kid. That's a game that I did have when I was a kid. And the other one that I picked up is a game called Dragon Treasure right there. Very interesting little artwork on there. Sort of cheesy, to tell you the truth, the artwork on these, but it's still really neat to get them. They're much more common here in Canada than they were in the States because of them being Zellers games, right? And anyway, Dragon Treasure, what game does it sound like? It is Magic's Dragonfire. How bizarre is that? Of the 19 different games, some of them really make sense. Like there's some that are Atlantis. Ocean City Defender is Atlantis. Dragon Treasure is Dragonfire, but I mean, you have original Atari games there that have been copied. You have Magic games that have been copied, and there's some other really obscure ones as well. I think one of them, Farmer Dan, is like Gopher or something, which was by US Games. So there's no rhyme or reason to it, which is just that much more reason that much more that makes them very interesting to collect. So very happy to add those ones. Earth Attack and Dragon Treasure. Next up, I have a Magic game that I've been looking for a long time. And you're probably familiar with this game. It's not all that easy to get though, and that is Laser Gates. Very interesting game by Dan Oliver, which I believe originally was going to be Inner Space. Released by Venture Vision, right? It's totally obscure. The company went away and the game was picked up by Magic. It was a very late release, which is why it's so difficult to get. But Laser Gates is an absolutely fantastic game to play. A lot of fun. And yeah, I'm very, very happy to finally have it in my collection as well. The Magic set is one subset that I may go for fairly soon. I'm not really sure. If I put a number up in the corner here, whatever way it is up there, then I'm starting to go for it. You'll know that, how many there are and what number this was. I have a few, but really not that many. So anyway, next is one that you're very familiar with. I've actually showed it on my channel before because I did pull it out for this video when I looked at Fantastic Voyage from 20th Century Fox right there. I looked at that game. I did it Old Guys and Old Games as part of the 20th Century Fox series. And this is just a very, very interesting game. I have a whole bunch. I had a whole bunch of the 20th Century Fox games when I was a kid. Flash Gordon, Megaforce, MASH, some of the more common ones. I love them. And it was really interesting to play the rest of them, including this one, which I did very early in that series. So, of course, it's based upon the fantastic Voyage movie from back in the 60s. And it's a game that really deserves to play. If you've not played this game, read the manual a little bit. I'm sure you can find it online. And get the game and try it out, because it is sincerely a lot of fun. Right on. So next is a couple of great games which I've been working on the Activision series, the 44, 45 if you include Tomcat. 44 different games for the Activision set, and I was down to just less than a handful. I'm actually down to one because I've been counting these two for quite a while. So the only game that I still need, guess what? It's not here today, is Rampage. But here's the couple that I picked up very, very late. I'm going to start off by this one, which is not in the greatest shape in the world with the label, but I got a copy of River Raid 2. River Raid is one of the most fantastic games on the Atari 2600. It can be very easily, somebody said, my favorite game is River Raid on the Atari 2600. I would not be able to argue with them. How could you argue with that, right? You can see different people would like that game. There's lots of great games, but River Raid's classic. This one isn't rated quite as highly, but still incredibly nice to have. Even though it's a sort of bad shape here, I'll pick another one up sometime, maybe. But if not, at least I have it. The end label's pretty good, so River Raid is great. And one more Activision title that I picked up is a really hard one to get. I was very happy to finally add a copy of Hero to my collection. Love the Intellivision version of Hero called Heli, which I've done lots of videos on, play it on streams and stuff all the time. Carlos Madruga programmed it back in the day, released by Intellivision Revolution. And yeah, so finally I have the original right here. I have played this quite a bit in emulation, but now I'll be able to play the actual card. So it's really, really nice to have picked up this game, one of the most all-time classic games of the system. Again, right up there with River Raid being one of the favorites of all time. There's many, many people who list Hero as the best game on the Atari 2600, up there with games like Pitfall 2 and other of the more advanced games. So anyway, very, very happy to add that one. Now next, I'm going to show you some interesting things. I picked up a whole bunch of documents. Okay, and I'm going to go through them pretty quickly here, but what I got are some of the magazines, comic books, some catalogs, and I'm going to show them really quick. Okay, here it is. I'll do a little bit longer clip as well, but there is Sword Quest #1. Came with the original Sword Quest. I can't even tell you if it's Earthworld or Fireworld first, but I do know that I have a complete in-box copy of Earthworld, and I don't think I have the comic book, so there you go. There was one of them. I saw these books and posters and such, and they're all interesting things. So I grabbed that one right up and said, no, I think I'd like to have that in my collection. And then on top of that, I got a couple of the posters. So there is the Sword Quest poster for the contest back in the day. So I'll put a better picture of it right in here. And of course, there's all the rules. I do believe these two are the exact same. Open it up, take a quick look. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Oh, this is the sword one. Look at that. Challenge Earthworld right there. It's got the sword. They're not the same. Not at all the same. And this one has got the chalice on it. And it is Challenge. Whoops. Fireworld. So it's great. Sometimes you get the games not complete in box without these posters. So now I got the posters for both Earthworld and Fireworld right there. So beautiful. Love it. Very difficult to get. Next. And I picked up some of these earlier, just actually last spring as well, but I got some of the Atari Force comics. So I got to go through and see which ones I have, which ones I don't. There aren't very many, I think 5. And here I picked up Atari Force 1, and I'll put down in the corner which game it actually came with. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Atari Force 3, which is great. Atari Force 4, which is also great. And this one right here, this is just pristine, nice condition. Holy cow, just like brand new, that number 4. So cool. Now next, I got a M Network manual for Super Challenge Baseball, which I don't particularly know why I got this one, other than the fact that it was really cool. It is the bilingual version. Okay, so there it is, Super Challenge Baseball. That's actually the French. And if you open it up, there is the English. So that's kind of interesting, right? You open up, fold out like this, French and English. I just found that really cool. I love this game. I remember getting it back in the day when, of course, I was a huge Intellivision fan, and when I had the opportunity to pick up the MEM Network games relatively inexpensively as well, like they're down to $5 to $8 by the end, I grabbed all I could get, right? Including that one and soccer and all of them. I have all the M Network games now, and yeah, that's pretty cool. 2-player only though, made it really rough. Next up, I got a catalog here, and this is an interesting catalog because it is the video computer system and it's the multi-language one. So this is obviously the European one, and I'll show you flipping through. If you look real quick, like it's all long page like this, okay. And of course, every language is there. And then you get into the different categories of games. That's just still a system and such. To the different categories of games. Like that's adventure territory. And it lists like E.T. and Haunted House. What's next? Crawl. And I can tell this is very, very late. Because because a lot of the boxes that it shows are the silver boxes. Even for games. Like if you go back to the back of the book here. Like there's Space Station, there's Yar's Revenge in a silver box, right? So this is a very late catalog. I had not seen this one before, so I'll flip through it so you got a better look at some of the pages, and yeah, really neat to add. Last but not least, and of course this is again because of how much I love the 20th Century Fox series of games. I'm starting to collect those. I found Games of the Century, and this is a very interesting little catalog. You flip it open, and you got a sneak peek at Porky's. 3-pager right there on the game Porky's. Okay, how cool is that? But the interesting thing when you go to the inside and start flipping, you have, well, there's MASH. There's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. I didn't know that anything had been printed with that name on it, but there it is, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, which also, obviously, you saw in my video earlier on. You check it out. I'll put a link to the video down below. Became Crash Dive. Okay, they didn't use the license after all. I don't really know why, but it's a great game. Crash Dive is a fun game. And you got Flash Gordon, Space Master X7, The Earth Dies Screaming, Bank Heist, Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes, Mega Force, and that's it. But so not all the games are there by any stretch, but it's really interesting to see that release of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea before the name got changed. So very, very happy to have that. I don't think I had any 20th Century Fox catalogs. We're almost to the end, so we'll just grab the first one. This one isn't all that unusual, but it's still a game that is not super, super common. Here it is. It's USCF Chess. And yes, I have a copy of Chess. And one thing about mine is I've always been missing the manual. Okay, I have the 2 overlays, the game, the box, in good shape. And this one has not only the manual, but it also has all the addendums. Okay, there's a bunch of addendums for problems. This is actually the English, the French, the multilingual ones. There's 2 different. There's the actual American English addendum. And then you have this one, which is the international ones. So I'll put pictures of that in here. And there's even an additional one inside about the overlay issues. So it really was quite cool to see one this absolutely complete. So I did pick it up to add to my collection. It was a lot better than the one that I already had. So I'll just slide that back in there. Really happy to add that. And next up is a complete in-box Atari game that I've wanted for quite a while, but just hadn't picked up. Not super expensive, but it's from Data Age, and it is Journey Escape. So that's pretty cool as well. Of course, that's an interesting little game. Journey, the band from back in the 80s. A rock concert can be perilous for the performers, even for one of the world's hottest groups, Journey. Will you be able to guide all 5 members of the group to the safety of their famous Scarab escape vehicle before time runs out? Will you be able to protect the $50,000 concert cash? Or will you be foiled by stage barriers, groupies, photographers, and promoters? The action is hot and heavy, just like at a Journey performance. So, pretty cool. Yeah, just I've always sort of thought this game looked really interesting, right? And I never had a copy. And you see it loose quite often, and fairly inexpensive. But when I had the opportunity to pick up this complete in-box copy, I was all over it for sure. So nice to add that. Now, I have one more thing to show you here in this pickup video. And this is something that I wasn't fully aware of. But, of course, you probably are aware that they were English and they were also French-Canadian games. Okay, French-Canadian versions of Intellivision games. I've had all kinds of the French-Canadian Intellivision games, but I had not seen one of these. And what this is this is one of the sleeve versions of Las Vegas Roulette. And what that means is, in order to market it here in Canada, they hadn't at that point printed off boxes that were bilingual. Of course, it had to be bilingual to be sold in Canada. So instead, they inserted the English version of the game, and that's just the regular game right there, inside one of these slots. You can see Las Vegas Roulette, is that what's on the side? La Roulette de Las Vegas is on that side, and then it just says Las Vegas Roulette on the other. So that was Mattel's response to make the games bilingual in Canada at first. And these are very difficult to find. This one is one of the more common ones, actually. But there are about 6 or 7 different ones, and some of the space ones are actually very difficult to find. I think there's only like 6 or 8. I don't know. I'll put a list. If I can find the list of how many there are, I'll put it in the screen here right now. But this is the only one I have. It is the first time I had ever seen one, and I was really happy to pick that up when I was up there. So really, really interesting. So you never know. There's just so much to collect in the world of Intellivision. Well, guys, that's it for today's pickup video. Coco actually made it through the whole thing again today. Can't believe it. Picked up the Intellivision System 3, my first one. Glad to have that. I've always looked at those darker buttons. I wonder if those feel any different. Yeah, they do. They feel back like they did on the original, I find. Fantastic Atari 2600 pickups. Included one complete in-box of stuff from my Intellivision collection. This paperwork is catalogs, comics. Very interesting when I come across those. And of course, this French-Canadian Intellivision Roulette right here. Yeah, I'd never seen one before, so it's just one more thing. Maybe I'll try to find the rest. It'll be pretty hard and challenging, but we'll do the best we can do. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for spending a little time with us here today. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel. Makes Coco happy too, and we will see you in the next pickup video, which is going to start off a series of 5, and it's going to be a big one. We'll see you later.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you have
Hi, I'm Luke from Intellivision Collector,
age of 50,
and you're watching Papa Pete, the old guy gamer.
What the hell?